the black women in government who are or women who are displaying themselves as loud, independent, and cool, or schooling the masses on the hard life of a black woman, are not showcasing genuine ideas or great character. Now, why is she not showcasing a genuine idea? Because that's not the life that she is saying. That's not what she lived. Even before the White House, that's not the life she lived. She never lived that.
She was never oppressed.
And I don't want to.
She could never identify with the millions of people who are in poverty. But she plays these games as if she is a product of that.
And it's not.
She's not. She's a liar, a deceiver, a heartbreaker now.
Okay.
What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
And like we always do, we like to say thank you to all our new subscribers, everyone who sees value in this content, like what they're hearing. If you are one of those people and you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because these are the conversations that need to be had, and we really appreciate it. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode. And I made a post on Facebook, and the post was how I think Michelle Obama and Jasmine Crockett are two of the worst representations of black women. And I got a little bit of uproar from black women, as to be expected, and a little bit of other kind of people. But anyway, I'm here today to explain what I think the problem is with these two women. And first thing first, we are going to get into character, because these two women, it seems like they say whatever they think black people want to hear. So with Michelle Obama, she does a whole bunch of interviews where she talks about how basically she hates America. She doesn't like being black. She tells you how impoverished and oppressed we are, but she's clearly a millionaire who's been in places that most black people have not been. So it's kind of gaslighting the black community as if she can relate to us. And of course, she's from the South Side of Chicago, whatever. But she came up in a pretty much privileged upbringing from going to Princeton, graduated Princeton, to being a senator's wife, to being the first lady. All of these things are not ordinary for black people. But yet and still, she complains as if she's oppressed. And I don't understand. I think that's a problem. And what you got, baby?
All right, so you talked about character. So what is character? You know, I always like to give a definition because people like to play dumb, and
they like to play games.
And look, and I took it from my college dictionary that I got back in 2009. So I ain't looking at nothing that's been updated, because some of that mess is whatever. But according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, character is 1, a distinguishing feature or an attribute; 2, the complex of mental and ethical traits marking a person or a group; 3, reputation; 4, moral excellence. And so when Barack Obama first came on the scene, there is this, for presidency, I'll say this, there was this image that they were the perfect family, the husband, the wife, and the 2 daughters, right? And that they were going to represent America. And I think that was number one. That was the first mistake, to say, well, not even America, Black America, to represent Black people. So I think that was an error on the people's fault, right? And so because
almost like idolizing.
Absolutely, because today people still idolize them. So I think one of the greatest honors that ever happened to this family is for them to have served their country. Like, that is a service job. And they were the first black family. You can't deny it. You can't be like, well, they were the first black family. She was a black woman in a position that had never been held by a black woman before. They were in, and this is what trips me out. They talked about character a lot, right? She in her book, if you read her book, Becoming, she talks about how they had to uphold this image and show character because, you know, what's her saying? When they go low, we go high. Yeah. Right. And so she
did away with that one.
She says those things. And then you see, like, your husband held the highest office like ever.
Yes. And
you are saying that it was just miserable. You couldn't do this, or you didn't want to feel like this. Like they paid for like their own food and stuff. Mind you, it's a government job. So the government would have paid like for what it is, but they felt like, no, we can't because we'll be scrutinized by this. And they were, but when you read it, it's like we'll be scrutinized for this like because
everybody else doing it
because we're black. But it was like you are the president and you had the people's support. But so we go to character and then we look at today, and she's doing if you read the book and then you watch what she's doing on her show and on interviews, she is regurgitating what she's saying because she's trying to make the point that I was oppressed. I have this degree and I didn't get to use it. Well, she was using her degree, but she didn't like what she was doing. She didn't like being a lawyer. If you read the book, she tells you straight up, I didn't like doing this job. But one thing in there is this why, you know, character, Barack Obama's reputation was up here. And she was up there too. I don't think she realizes it. But because her husband got the spotlight, I think I said this in one of the shows, because her husband had the spotlight, this is a whole jealousy thing. And
now that she's not in a position to where she has to act a certain way, right, she's wilding out.
Right.
She's like a child who, when I was younger, my mom and my daddy were together. When my daddy went to Afghanistan in the military, he got stationed in Afghanistan, I wilded out. So once you get those reins taken off of you, you wild out. And that's what she's doing now. She's acting like a spoiled little child who feels like she needs to connect or reconnect with poor black people.
To be this, I find it very disrespectful, and that's when you get to the character thing, like moral excellence. Like it's about your reputation. You were first lady. I don't believe that her story or whatever it is that she says, because she's catering to black women, that's who she's catering to. And then you have, well, why are you saying it? Because she's a black woman? No, it's because she lacks character. She lacks character.
She'll say whatever
she's
going to
say. Whatever. What did I say here? The black woman in government or women who are displaying themselves as loud, independent, and cool, or schooling the masses on the hard life of a black woman, are not showcasing genuine ideas or great character. Now, why is she not showcasing a genuine idea? Because that's not the life that she is saying. That's not what she lived. Even before the White House, that's not the life she lived. She never lived that.
She was never oppressed.
And I don't want to.
She could never identify with the millions of people who are in poverty, but she plays these games as if she is a product of that.
And it's not.
She's not. She's a liar, a deceiver, a heartbreaker now.
Okay.
But yeah.
And you're falling for it because of, she's a black woman. She deserves this. She needs to be uplifted. No, she has a husband. Of course, they're empty nesters
that she doesn't respect.
That she does not respect. And that's showcased, like, during the campaign or whatever, she was telling women, whatever your husband, you don't have to do. Like, you don't have to do what your husband says. And I don't like that wording, because there's a way, like, I am an individual, right? But as an individual, I am married. So when I came before God, we became one. But I know that I am Camille, But I also know that I gotta listen to my husband on some things, and he should listen to me. That's vice versa. Like, it's not what I say goes.
Yeah, ain't no dictatorship.
It's not
a partnership.
So, and from what you pick up on the relationship, from what she's written, from what she says,
she gonna do what she want to do.
And Barack lets her.
Yes.
Like, he's let her. You know, all these things.
And this is what y'all look up to. And so, this is not even a real relationship. This is just, what you call it, a situationship. That's what they got.
She's doing a podcast with her brother, who lived a completely different life than he. Wasn't in the White House. And I find it telling, and nobody's said this who's like talked about this. I find it very telling that their mother died. Their mother passed away a couple of months ago. And I find it very telling that now she's presenting this narrative when you don't have somebody to kind of say,
that ain't what happened.
That's not what happened. You know?
So her and her brother got in the room and was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Since mama gone, we can say whatever we want to say.
So I don't know. I'm just saying, I hadn't seen anybody, but both her mother and her father are deceased, and it's just her and her brother. And so if you have two people who, you know, grew up in the same household, and then you have to I have 4 siblings, and we all were in the house at one point in time, but I know that my siblings' interactions or whatever happened could be completely different. They might have the same story, but we gonna have something say completely different. But I feel like they have to line it up. You remember this happened and you remember? And so I don't know. I just don't believe that it's genuine. I don't believe it. You have privilege. And I'm not going to say black privilege or no white privilege. You are privileged.
You got corporate privilege.
You are privileged. You
are not this person you portray to be.
Like book deals, and then you have people coming on. One thing I like when I talked about they're like portraying, like, you know, not portraying great character. They're not even supporting I haven't even watched the podcast, so you see clips and stuff. She does not talk about supporting of family, right?
Marriage.
There's a focus on transgenderism and the plight of being black. Like, black people can't make it. And that bothers me because you made it. Like, in the sense of, you were in the White House. You were in
the highest position.
Like, you get to walk and see all the rooms that everybody can't get to see. You've
seen and done things that people will never.
Like, do you understand? You were in the house from John Adams all the way to your husband. Like, you.
But you were oppressed.
Like, that's crazy
you
work.
You deal with racism on the daily basis. According to what she say, is every day she deals with these things: oppression, racism, and white supremacy every day.
That's crazy. But people voted for your husband to be in
office.
It wasn't just black people.
And we know this because 95% of black people voted for one candidate this go around and they didn't win. So you needed the white people. These white supremacists that you falsely claiming to be, these are the same people who voted for your husband, a black man.
So this,
quote unquote,
this narrative that, black women struggle. But let me tell you this. Now, I'm not going to say some black women don't struggle. I'm not going to say I've never struggled. But I refuse to be a victim. Because one time somebody told me, girl, you ain't never been through nothing. I just smiled at that person. I said, you right. I ain't never been through nothing. But you would never know what I've been through. So you can't be like, Camille, you don't know what the hell I've been through.
Only people that wear what they've been through on their shoulders are the ones who want attention.
Exactly. I refuse to be a victim. I know when to speak up for myself. I know when somebody is doing wrong, trying to cause me harm, and I will speak up on it. I'm not one to be like, well, I have to wait 20 years to get this done. No. If you disrespect me, that's what it is. So if she was disrespected, if something was happening, it should have been addressed at that time. If something was happening in the White House,
you got Secret Service and everything.
How long Barack been out? 16 years?
I don't know, something like that. if it was that bad, it wasn't that bad.
It couldn't have been that bad.
No.
She didn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
That was
she wanted to be in it.
No, she did not.
She didn't want to be in it.
When you read the book, she didn't
want no
parts. She didn't want him to be senator, but then she said, well, if that's what Barack, playing this role. And then he said he knew she didn't want to. She wanted to. I really think that she did want to live a quiet life, like have money, be a lawyer, like, live.
But it just said she didn't even like being a lawyer.
And this is me. This is my opinion. I don't think she wanted to be married to Barack.
She don't now. She don't respect that man.
President.
She don't respect
Obama.
that man. She don't respect her family. And another thing she don't respect is the presidency.
That's okay. Yes, I want to touch on that because I watched Vince Everett Ellison.
Got his name right.
He made a very good point. And he said about Hillary Clinton and all, what President Bill Clinton put her through, what Donald Trump was saying on when he was running against her, and she shows up. He said because she's doing the job. This is the job. You are a public figure.
When my job has a gathering, a Christmas party, or whatever it is, I'm not showing up by myself. She ain't showing up by herself. That's not how this works. And I'm definitely, my reasoning for not showing up is definitely not going to be because I don't like this person. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with my partner. So the disrespect that she shows for Barack and leading up to the disrespect she shows for the presidency, how can y'all respect this?
Right, and then you say that, well, she's a black woman. She has every right to. Then you don't understand. Then you really don't understand.
You black before anything.
Then it's really going over your head. In my opinion, she should have been at President Jimmy Carter's funeral.
Absolutely.
Because
that's disrespectful too.
That was like, what? And then that was the same time, I think around that time, her mama had died too. So that's when I was like, yeah, but maybe. Still, it still could have been a statement. People like to send out statements and all this other stuff. But then when the presidency, your husband was the 44th president of the United States. And he is solo. Everybody else has their wives. And
this man showed up by himself.
And you have black women cheering. Yeah, you stand up for what you believe in. There's some things that you have to
sometimes
just suck
you
it
need
up.
to just shut up.
You think I've never been in rooms where I didn't want to be?
Sometimes you gotta play a role. Straight up, you gotta play a role.
You think sometimes, and if I felt any discomfort, well, I'll tell Brandon about it. But the whole world ain't gotta know.
Straight up. We ain't going on no podcast telling y'all about it.
So, and then
this woman done created division in your household.
And then she talks about this whole thing about what I saw when she had Taraji P. Henson on a clip of that. And then, saying, we're not going back, and this pain that I feel, the black women in pain. I was like, what pain y'all in?
What are they talking about not going back to?
I don't know. It was this pain. Will black women have the most pain? I'm like, we still
from the slaves. Like, our heart.
Where y'all hurting?
Where?
I tell you right now, my head hurt because I want to go
listening to y'all.
Like, God, dog, I have a headache, but I'm not in pain.
No,
my life. I know, and I told the girls this the other day. I said I would never want to have that job. I would never want to be the president of the United States, ever, because of what comes with it. But my life, I don't have any complaints, and the Lord tells us to be content in what we have, right? So I
strive for more.
Yes, but be content with what you have until you can get more.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. It's not, I need to get all this because that person has this. This whole scenario, and we can parallel this to what's happening with these big behind statues that are being put up, and this portrayal of
big behind statue.
That was pun intended. And saying, well, this is how the black woman is. This what's coming out of Michelle Obama's mouth, was coming out of Jasmine Crockett's mouth, was coming out of Maxine Waters' mouth. what's coming out of any ignorant black woman, any ignorant woman who is on this feminism, this black feminism mess. I'm not with it because it's sucky. It's like you're looking, why do y'all took down historical statues because white supremacy. But we need to know the story of George Washington. He's a freaking founder of the United States. Yeah, he did. Like, are all of us good?
I don't even know who this obese black woman is.
That's my point. They took down Thomas Jefferson. They took down Robert E. Lee. They changed school names. They changed football team names.
But white supremacy is trying to change history. They trying to rewrite history. Like, okay.
Yeah,
I see. I see.
Y'all blaming the wrong people who trying to change history.
You need to blame yourself.
And you're putting up these stupid statues meaningless that don't mean anything. And I don't relate to that.
And it's not even black people who are doing it. It's some doggone foreigners that we have no clue. How did this process?
Thomas J. Prince is his name, I think.
Anyway, but man, we that's enough of doggone Michelle. We're gonna get on doggone Jasmine real quick. Miss old Jasmine Crockett. I don't even know where to begin with her. Loud, obnoxious.
When she came on the scene last year, and this is when she called that lady, whatever she called that lady.
Bad built, yes. Butch body.
And I saw that every black woman was like, yeah, you tell her. Because goofy. They're always going at each other. Man, that goes back to that character. So that's who you want representing you? Mm-hmm. I don't want that representing me.
You even got black men talking about, oh, that's black excellence.
That is not.
She know what she talking about. She's speaking for the people. She ain't speaking for me. I don't know who she's speaking for, but she ain't even speaking for herself. Because if you look at her old videos, she's not that person.
That's not how she.
All them big old flappy doggone eyelashes. She always had that big old weave. But the way she talks, the way she articulates, that's not who the person she is. She a liar too.
She bold-faced lie. She gonna
right in your face lie. This woman.
It was that. And now the thing about the whole farmers and the immigration, that really bothered me because she don't care. Like, she don't care, and it bothers me.
She hates being black and she hates being American.
Who gonna work that? You don't.
You ain't gonna
work them fields. Man, you know what? Let me get my piece of land.
I'm working them fields. I'll pick my own cotton.
Thank you. I'm gonna sell it. I'll sell it. If we go get on the coastline, grow some rice.
She talking about working for somebody else.
I'm working for myself to make some money. Look what you talking about.
That's why we ain't did do. Even if they gave us the 40 acres and a mule, we wouldn't know what to do with it. We'll try to sell it.
Try and sell it and then go to school because we have to be intellectually
listening weak behind W.E.B. Du Bois.
Use your freaking hands and learn how to labor.
We should have listened to
you know how to grow your own food? No, you know how to go to the grocery store and get it. And like that bothers me because you have these black women who are saying stupid things and then you're running with it. Yeah, you saw what she said. You go, girl. No, I don't want to know.
In stupidity.
And these are educated women too. I'm saying
they purposely being stupid.
Highest of the high education, and they are being Sambo.
Didn't Jasmine Crockett? She went and told her boss that you should hire me because I'm black.
Hire me because I'm black, not because I deserved it. Well, don't even say I'm qualified. There you go. Not just because this job I've studied it and I want to do it and I can do it well. Qualification, qualified. I do it because I'm black.
Yeah. That's why you should hire me.
I'm black.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, you in that, man, you were appointed that position. Because I see a lot of comments saying, how was she even elected? Y'all, she wasn't elected. She was appointed.
Nobody voted for her.
That's
why my boy Sheldon Daniels, he going to take that from her.
He need to because we don't.
He going to take that.
She don't.
Shout out to Sheldon Daniels. Y'all need to check him out too because he is the one who is going to be running against her. She won't be unopposed this go around. She got somebody on her heels. But yeah.
I want to say this. I think I wrote this. I don't know. There is a lack of character, morals, and values America cannot survive on our blackness or the power of women. I believe these women know that and are fighting for the globalist agenda. You can't, there's no way that you're going to think, okay, well, women in power, we're going to just, everything's going to be run smoothly. There's a reason why there is woman and man.
Y'all must have forgot.
There are positions there are positions that each of us must play. Now, I'm not saying that a woman can't be higher up. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that in context and what the heck I'm saying, there must be men and there must be women. And when you have women, so you can call me a sexist if you want to, I'm a woman, god dog it. There must be women who play certain roles.
Yeah.
There has to be. I don't give a daggone how smart you are. I have a role to play.
And when you get up out of that role, that's where we get to where we are right now.
And so
chaos.
So we're not against black women, but against the ideas that are spewed unintelligently to America. We are against what these women project, which is victimhood, illegal aliens. Like, they promote illegal aliens. They promote pro-choice.
Mind you, they called Donald Trump racist for deporting these people, but Barack Obama deported over 5 million people. And nothing was said about that. That wasn't racism. That was protecting the country. But when Donald Trump does it, it's racism, white supremacy.
It's everything Donald Trump does.
Everything it does is white supremacy.
It's white supremacy. These women are also pro-choice and the promotion of the matriarchy. So they don't believe in the patriarchy, which means having a man in the home.
And that's why Michelle doesn't respect her husband.
Yep.
That's why she doesn't respect the president.
Yep. So
she doesn't respect no authority. And that's talked about that before. That's what's wrong with these children. And that's what doggone Philip Anthony Mitchell was talking about. We don't respect nothing.
Nothing.
They got no respect.
When you don't respect or you don't believe in, like, if you don't believe in the values of what this country was built on, then maybe you need to go somewhere else, right? Like,
we don't need you here.
Like that's what it is.
Straight up.
Because at the end of the day, I'm going to use your words, and this is what I have ended on my paper. These people are playing in our faces, and black women and some black men are gobbling it up like it's some good Thanksgiving turkey, with some gravy and then some dressing. Like, you're gobbling it up and saying, yeah, this is good, but you don't see the demise of what's happening. Right.
Like, how is promoting transgenderism and homosexuality, how is that beneficial to humanity?
You can't
reproduce.
Yeah.
And some will say, well, I can go have the IEV or the whatever.
That's not dangerous.
Natural.
It's not natural.
That's
dangerous.
If that was supposed to be done, it would be a natural way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah. We ain't promoting none of that foolishness, all this chaos. All this doggone, y'all want to incite violence and say, oh, I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant. Say,
there
all
is
this
a
anti-America,
wrong and a right and a right,
anti-black, anti-humanity. We ain't standing for none of that. And that's exactly what Jasmine Crockett and Michelle Obama stand on. And that's why we don't rock with them. And we don't feel like they're role models. We don't feel like they should be looked up to. We don't feel like they should be idolized. Any of that. I don't even listen to them people.
How many dances she do if she got her boots on the ground? I like that song too, but I don't care.
Didn't the Democrats just pass a law for El Salvador or something like that? Why they out here dancing? They know all the latest they just like children.
No, it's what is the black community into? That's the boots on the ground. Where your fans at? Where? I really like the song, but I'm not gonna get distracted by trying to dance my way into somebody's life and be like, "Hey, this is how I can help you." I'm gonna be foolish. I'm gonna be a clown, and then listen to me.
And I forgot to mention how what's her name, Jasmine Crockett. She like putting her hands on people too. She's slapping doggone reporters and stuff. Y'all champion that as well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime a black person hits somebody, beats them up or whatever, y'all champion that. Y'all don't believe in character.
Beat somebody, hit somebody, even when people kill people.
Y'all believe in that too. Straight up. Y'all want to listen to Martin Luther King when he said everything except judge people by their character. Y'all missed that part. Crazy. But we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. So, like always, it's love, peace, and soul. Like Soul Train, baby.